Hello and welcome back to Universal Class. In this lesson we're going to go over formatting data and cells. Formatting a worksheet can change the look and feel of it. You can add color, change fonts, put in things such as headings, apply styles, and much more. Taking the time to format a worksheet can take it from the black and white page of data and grid lines to something that looks professional, attractive. Changing font size and type. Font is defined as the style of your type. Times New Roman, Courier, and Arial are probably three of the most popular fonts, but there are literally hundreds to thousands of fonts available. When you create a worksheet, you can decide what type of font you want to use. You can also decide the size of the font. For example, in this highlighted cell of A1, we're looking at the font Calibri at 11 point. And we can change this under the font group located in the Home tab to any font we want, but Arial is a common choice. This also does the size. And now we've just changed the font to be Arial size 16. To change it to another font, it's just as easy as going through and searching for a font that you like. We could change it right now to Courier, which is right here. This is all pretty easy, particularly with the wonderful tools that Excel gives you for instant access to apply styles immediately, such as the bold icon here. We'll bold it, click it again to unbold it, you can italicize it, underline it. There's varying degrees of underline. You can do a double underline, which is good for, particularly for accounting purposes. We're going to say no underline, no italics. You can also increase the font size one at a time like this, decrease it one at a time, just so you can get it perfect. You can change the color. We can make it orange. You can change the background color, the highlight color, and we could make it, let's do yellow. And then we can change the borders around the actual cell. So we could box in the whole cell and make it a thick box border. And it would look something like that. So all of these items here within the font box, they're known as the font attributes. And you can do boldface, italicize, underline the data in the cells, and so forth. One other note, you can also do partial contents in the cell at different font attributes. So let's say you wanted this first part changing font to be bold. So you would have to double click inside the cell to get that cursor in there, and then hold and drag with your left mouse button the type, what you're trying to select, and then you can change any of the fonts particular to that specific area within the cell. To apply your changes to the whole cell, just make sure that the whole cell is selected in this box. To apply changes to a specific portion of data within the cell, double click in the box and highlight it, such as that. We also briefly went over this before, but there's a range of different types of borders that you can use for cells. So if, hold on, let's just delete everything here to get back to a normal spreadsheet, and let's do we can do, we're going to create a real quick worksheet called monthly expenses. We're going to start everything under B3. We're going to, let's do January. And then we're going to do So let's let's just add some data here. Let's say cars 275. And we'll just go ahead and add 275. Rent we'll say is 950. And we're going to pull that data out here, just make it the same. Utilities we'll just say are Liquid utility 170. Gas we'll just say is 125. Groceries, we'll just say that always varies. 225, 285, 320, 175, 244, and 189. Entertainment, we'll just say 175, 200, 150, 75, 300, 225. Cable probably stays the same, we'll just say 89. And phone, we'll just say 152. Oh, and we'll put a total here. Go over and use a quick, over here and use quick auto sum on all those. And the other thing we're going to do is we're just going to make everything be dollars. All right, so a little bit more of a real life example of changing fonts and styles. First off, this is the heading monthly expenses, so we probably want that to be bolder and larger. So that's our title. The total down here seems to be a sum of all of the expenses for each month, so we might as well highlight that somehow. So let's just make that bold so we know that that is a total. Now we can go into adding borders to cells. It may be that we like all of these totals to be in a special box, which we can do under all of these border options. And one of the things that is nice is that it can easily apply very quickly the style you want. So we're going to say thick box border on everything. And let's go ahead and remove the highlights. So see how it put, since I highlighted a range of cells, see how it put the box around the entire selection I had highlighted. It didn't do each box individually. So that is very useful. The other thing you can do is highlight that same box again, and we could be like, oh, let's go to the borders box and let's go look at some shading options, which is very, very important. So we're going to go to, we could come here to format cells and we could select a fill if we want. So we could say, oh, I like this salmon color fill. And we do that, and now we have everything in this box with a salmon color. So we've done a few things here. We've done the add colors to range of cells. We've showed you how to highlight cells so you can apply a font or border across multiple cells at one time. There's also the font dialog box, which is located here in the bottom right arrow key, or you can hit Control-Shift-F if you like, but we're going to go click that, and this gives us even more options to fill, border, font, alignment. Alignment is good. Change the numbers, change the way the numbers are being displayed, etc. And hit cancel. Now there's also formatting with the mini bar, which is a mini bar which appears wherever you right click within a cell. So let's say we want to change the style of January header. Actually, let's say we want to change the style of all of our month headers here. So we've highlighted them all, and now we're going to right click here, and the mini bar is up here. This gives us all the font options to customize directly what we have selected. Very similar to the font group that you see here. But let's just go ahead and make this bold, and let's give them a highlight color of green here. And then we just click somewhere else to make that menu disappear. Oh, we have something called merging cells. Merging cells simply means that you merge a group of cells into one cell. It is not the same as combining cells, because when you combine cells, the data in those cells is also combined. When you merge cells, the information in the upper left cell is centered to the merged cell. If the content you want in the merged cell is not in the upper left cell, then you must copy and paste the data into the upper left cell. It is important to remember that cells you merge must be adjacent. So to merge cells, select the cells to be merged. So let's say that we want monthly expenses to be merged across A through G. Then we go to the alignment group under the Home tab. So we're under the Home tab, and we need to go to the alignment group, which is right here, which is this icon with the double arrows. and it says merge and center, combine and center the contents of the selected cells into a new larger cell. This is a great way to create a label that spans multiple columns. In this case, we want monthly expenses as the title of our spreadsheet to be centered here. So we're going to go ahead and click that, and voila. We've now merged and centered that information. We've also gone over this before. We're going to highlight these cells, and we can change the way the numbers are displayed, which is pretty useful. Right now we have it under accounting, but we could be, I like the numbers specific to be numbers, decimals, currency. For this purpose, this could be in percentages or fractions or even scientific notation. If you need more options, you can click on that down arrow key, which gives you more options for formatting the cells, but also the types of numbers and how they're being displayed. So we're going to jump over to, all right, so we're going to briefly go over text wraps, and we're going to just start a new spreadsheet to do that. And see, this cell contains data that spills over the right border. We're going to use text wrap to fix it. All right, so you can see that this long text data spills over several cells, and we can say, no, we don't want that to look like that. So what we can do is we can highlight that particular cell, and then we go to the wrap text option, which is located right here. And it's saying wrap extra long text into multiple lines so you can see all of it. So we can click on that button, and that will make this cell large, and you can see everything in one cell. Or we can click this button to revert back. Now, what happens is, right now it's showing us all the contents of cell A across all the cells, but the second we go into cell B and hit enter, we can no longer see, we see that cell A is cut off. So that's why it would be useful to click this button here, wrap text, and then we can see everything that's in cell A and cell B. There's another useful feature, and we're just going to close this. And people wonder how to do this all the time, and it's actually very easy, and that's changing the orientation of cell entries. Instead of wrapping text in cells, you can also change the orientation of the text by rotating the text up or down. This can work well with labels and worksheets. So to do that, let's say we want January, February, March, April, May to be seen up and down. To do this, we have to go to the alignment group under the Home tab and click on the orientation button. So let's go to the Home group, which we're at, and let's go to the alignment. And let's go to the orientation, and that's where this AB with this diagonal arrow is. And it says orientation, rotate your text diagonally or vertically. This is a great way to label narrow columns. So we're going to go ahead and select that, and we just select what and how do we want to display and orient this text. So right now I want to do something cool, so I'm going to do an angle counterclockwise. And voila. Now you're going to turn this spreadsheet into your boss, and he's going to be like, wow, you are a Excel genius. Look at how beautiful that is. The Format as Table Gallery. The Format as Table Gallery is a way to format your cells without having to select the cells first. Think of it as a shortcut to formatting cells. Your cell cursor just has to be within the table of data right before you click the Format as Table button that's located in the Styles group under the Home tab. So we're going to put our mouse cursor in a cell by clicking on it. So let's do that. Now we're going to go to the Format as Table button and look at the gallery. Interesting. Choose a formatting style that you want. So let's go to the Format as Table button. And this is under right here. This all looks neat. So let's do blue. I like blue. And then let's click on that, and it's going to ask us a date range, and it's going to ask if your table has headers, and our table actually doesn't have headers. It could if we did select our headers, but we didn't select our headers. So we just select OK. Now, we did this without headers, so we have column. It created us column labels for us. So I'm going to undo this, And I'm going to actually select everything with the headers and see how that works. And we'll go back to using this one, and we'll say my table has headers. There we go. Another great feature is conditional formatting. Conditional formatting is a neat little feature of Excel 2013 because it helps you do your job better. Let's say, for example, you're entering in employees' work hours into a spreadsheet. Your boss has told you to let him know if anyone exceeds more than 8 hours in any given day. Did you know that Excel can notify you each time this happens? You can program Excel 2013 to give you a red flag every time a certain situation exists. So to apply conditional formatting, go to the Styles group under the Home tab and click the downward arrow key. So let's do that similarly here. Let's just say that if any expense is greater than $300 here, under these rows, if any expense is greater than $300, we want it to automatically raise a flag for us. So we're going to highlight these cells, and we're going to come up here under the Styles group, which is under the Home tab, and go to Conditional Formatting, and we're going to say, highlight cell rules, and we're going to select a greater than rule. And we can say, oh, for format any cell that's greater than, we said $300, so we'll say 300, and then it says light red fill with dark red text. You know, I'll do a yellow fill. No, a light red fill. That looks nice. And then we go to OK. Now, with this conditional formatting, anytime there's an expense in groceries that's greater than $300, it's going to highlight it in red. So let's say we go to May and change this to be $475. Once we hit enter, it'll go to a light red background. Alrighty, now let's go over creating and applying styles. If you frequently use the same formatting options for cells in your worksheets, you may want to create a formatting style to save time. A formatting style is a collection of formatting choices. It may include, but it's not limited to, font, font size, and color. To create a new style, first format a cell with the selection of styles that you want. Then select the cell. So let's create a wacky style that we want to save. So we have wacky style here, and what we're going to do is we're going to change it to this, we're going to change it to, and we're going to make it 14 and make it like this and make it with the green. Okay, so this is our wacky style. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Home tab, which is Styles group. We're going to go to the Home tab Styles group, and we're going to select Cell Styles. So we're going to go to the Home group, we're going to go to the Styles tab, we're going to go under Styles here. Now we're going to say New, New Cell Style. And we are now going to name this style, which is Wacky Style. And we're going to say styles that are going to include it is everything that we have already selected in this cell. So the font is Aroni 14 with an accent of 2, darker 25%, no borders, it's shaded, all that stuff. So now we have that special style. Now let's say we want to apply that style somewhere else on our worksheet. So let's say we want to apply that style to the entertainment cell here. So let's click on entertainment. Now let's go over to cell styles and let's look for wacky. And we've instantly applied the style that we made here for wacky style onto entertainment. Let's undo that for just a second. The Format Painter. The Format Painter is a tool located on the Home tab in the Clipboard group. So in the Clipboard group, we have this Format Painter right here. The Format Painter may look like a broom, but it acts more like a paintbrush. Using it, you can borrow the formatting from cells or selections of cells and apply the same formatting somewhere else. It operates a lot like the copy function in Excel, except instead of copying text, you're copying formatting. To use the Format Painter, select the cell or cells for which you want to copy formatting. Now, click the Format Painter button. You'll notice that the cursor changes to a paintbrush. Next, select the cells you want to change with the borrowed formatting. So to use the Format Painter, what we do is we highlight the cell that has the formatting we would like to copy. So we've clicked the Format Painter button while this style is highlighted. Now we can choose anywhere to apply that formatting style. So what we do is, let's say we want to apply it over here to 89. And just by clicking on the cell, we immediately get that format.